Good evening. Good evening, everybody. Really appreciate you coming to our football banquet this evening. We're really looking forward to recognizing close to 100 of our young men involved in our football program. We're proud of every single one of them, and we want to express our gratitude to them, their parents, their loved ones, for everything so many people do to support our football program. And that's what tonight is all about. And we're going to start it out with a toast to the season from Coach DePietro and Coach Johnston.
I want to take a quick moment and thank Coach Farley. He's always done this with me. We've always done the toast together. And as he transitions into his role as admin, we've added Coach Johnston to the toast.
We'll do our best two-man toast on short notice.
Dearly beloved, we gather here today.
Whoa, D, that's the wrong speech.
My bad, that's my speech from Josh's wedding.
Welcome, all you cool cats, to the 2023 season toast.
To summer workouts.
To getting stronger.
To 7-on-7s.
To posts with little wheels behind it.
To the managers.
Thank you for putting up with JD.
To always having enough ice at practice.
Right, Cruz?
To Luke Larson and the video highlights.
To our boosters.
To our parent volunteers.
Thank you for your time.
To our broadcast crew and all that were involved. Dave, Jay, New, Tim Coit.
Who the heck is Tim Coit?
To our trainers.
To Chaz Alfonso.
To Tinjamin.
To all our coaches, thank you.
To our new schedule.
And Amari having to constantly fix it.
To our AD and admin.
Thank you for the support and to help find teams to play next year.
Thanks a lot, Pondo.
To the best ball boys in the state, Bam Bam and Matt.
Have a Gatorade on us.
To equipment check-ins and check-outs.
To Josh, spending 3 full days in the cage.
To that little cut on Gage's nose.
To iBlack.
Nah.
To Saturday morning meetings.
Are we going 7 or 8? A lot of red lights around it.
To Sunday night meetings.
To our football coach's office.
Had no air conditioning, but at least they had a PlayStation.
Cleaned out by one coach passing gas.
To post-game meals.
Sorry. Let's see here. You don't need glasses to see that was a good time.
Choose your seat wisely.
Coach Farley got his seat stolen one time.
To the golf cart.
It just ran away on its own. It almost killed the cheerleaders.
To all other small vehicles missing hubcaps.
Like ones that would fit in the back of my truck?
No, seriously, couldn't we just get the entire team to move it?
To sideline TVs.
I think Shuss and Park are somewhere working on it still.
To the trailer, and Jay White always towing it for us.
Jay, thank God that video hasn't surfaced.
To our doppelgangers, whoever they may be. Right?
Yep.
To the season finally starting. Couldn't wait any longer.
It's like trying to be quiet at a surprise party.
To opening the season by whooping Vista Ridge.
To lightning delays.
To Pomona.
You cannot drive on the track.
Jack Morgan killed a man.
To the long ride home.
And Montgomery, Alabama.
To Castleview.
Next!
To Pondo.
Just got a Hubble message. Their coaches are still pissed at us.
To Legacy.
The Michigan Pass.
Alex Martinez, you're one hell of a quarterback.
To Coach Thielen, bringing back planking mid-game.
To Shep.
Uh-oh, Troy McWhorter just scored again on him.
To bringing back the Pride of Parker Trophy.
To Fountain Fort Carson.
Next.
To kicking Pine Creek Zags.
To that freaking eagle statue.
To John Benton's house. Screw the Jets.
Gosh dang it, I think I just stepped in something.
Wet socks.
To Regis.
Next.
Wait. There was that lady on the bus.
Mom.
To Douglas County.
To Scotland.
To surprise blizzards.
Just is still trying to get those TVs to work.
To Brighton.
To being one of 2 teams in the past 5 years in the playoff game every year in 5 minutes.
To Tuddy, being the toughest bulldog on the field that night.
Josh actually hired a dog sitter tonight to make sure he could be here.
To Valor.
Don't ask anyone over there how anything tastes.
To being the only Douglas County school to ever beat Valor.
To siblings.
To the parents.
To the coaches.
To the new players stepping up.
Guys, that's what Flash Jam is all about.
To an undefeated freshman team.
To a JV team that yeah, let's hear for that freshman team. To a JV team that outscored their opponents 358 to 63.
To the Elite Eight.
To being a Titan forever.
Cheers.
So we have a lot to celebrate tonight, and want to make sure everybody understands that we're trying to reach a happy medium. We know some think that this may go on a little bit too long. We got about 100 people, as I said, to recognize. Others are hoping that the very kind words that we have for everyone is directed equally, and we're going to try to do our very best. Here are our thank yous to begin tonight. First of all, we'd like to thank Daryl Shush and all of our Booster Club board. It's really the support from our Booster Club and from our parents and our loved ones that is at the core of our program success. We'd like to include the Booster Club with all those pregame meals. Thank you. We'd also like to thank David Parker and the End Zone filming crew. Thank you very much. We'd like to recognize our chain crew and everything that they do for us at home games. Thank you. Jay Smith is just an awesome individual that does so much for our program in terms of filming and getting games on YouTube. And we'd like to thank the infamous Mr. and Mrs. Coit for everything that they do for us there as well. And I know the YouTube games are really, the games being broadcast on YouTube are really popular amongst my family. And I did get a chance, once we got the Thanksgiving break, to watch many of those YouTube broadcasts that I would only hear about on a week-to-week basis. And I know that it's the link for so many of our families that they can be able to watch legend football and their loved ones from far distance, from lots of different situations that prevent them from coming to games. And I know my family's one of them that really enjoys it, so we'd like to thank everybody involved with that. I'd really like to thank our coaching staff. Again, our booster club, our coaching staff, our players, their parents. That's the backbone of our program. I can't tell you how much we rely on our coaching staff. So many of them are the epitome of being committed to a cause bigger than their own. They work with our players for 6 months, beginning in June, ending at the end of November. And at the minimum, they're meeting with our players 4 days a week. But for the vast majority of those 6 months, they're meeting with our players, working with them 5, 6 days a week, working 60 or 70 hours. The playoffs are completely free. Our coaches don't get paid anything for coaching in the playoffs. And around here, we've done that now for weeks on end each year. And from the bottom of my heart, I want to extend my greatest gratitude to our coaching staff. A couple of particulars. I'd really like to thank Sean Farley. Coach Farley is our connection to the administration and the Booster Club. He does so many things behind the scenes that I think I've worn a path through the office into his office because I'm there basically on a daily basis. Tonight, Sean was responsible for staging a lot of what's going on tonight. So Sean, I just want to say thank you very much. 4 mornings a week, there is nobody more popular than Rico. And Rico's Burritos, and Muscle Milk, and our cooler in the weight room. Rick Garcia does so much for us. A lot of you don't know everything that he's doing, but I just mentioned some of them. We're extremely grateful for Rick and everything that he does to our program. Thank you. Jason and Christy White have been mainstays in our program now for 4 years. I think they're responsible for a couple of my favorite shirts now that I'm wearing on a regular basis. Those shirts, that Next Level shirts that they printed and distributed for us are a hot ticket, let me tell you that. Lots of people are asking me how they can get their hands on them. And I always tell them, you got to talk to Coach White about all that. But thank you very much, Jason and Christy White. A man really behind the scenes in our football program this year was John Benton. And John was a friend of JD's, who I had met about 25 years ago when he was on Coach Lubick's staff at CSU. John has spent many years in the NFL since then, and as oftentimes, sometimes you kind of end up in between jobs. John was the first NFL coach that I've ever been associated with that volunteered to work with our football program. And a lot of our scout teamers don't really realize this, but the guy arranging them and putting them in place is a guy that's been coaching in the NFL for like 20 years. So we're very, very grateful for everything that John Benton did for our program. I'd like to thank our trainers, Sarah and Ashley. We'd like to thank Ellie, Sandy, who works with them. They really go to great lengths to take care of our kids, and we're very appreciative of them. We're also appreciative of Jeff down at Synergy, Dr. Morrison at 10 Mile. They're fantastic people, supporters of our program, and they try to take great care of our kids, and so we're very appreciative of them as well. So it takes an entire community, to put together a football program that has reached the status of ours. And there's so many people that we need to thank, and it really begins and ends with our parents, and our loved ones who provide us these young men and young women who are a part of our program, and all the support that you extend to the program. You're really making a difference in these young people's lives, and we're extremely appreciative of your support. Okay, now we're going to get to actually recognizing as many of these young people as we can. Coach Johnson, Coach DePietro. First thing we're going to do is we're going to recognize everybody who CHSAA has recognized as being academic all-state for the previous semester. So this would have been the second semester leading into the summer. First, we're going to recognize everybody who met the honorable mention criteria, which is a grade point average of the previous semester of 3.3 to 3.59, and they need to be at least a junior, and they need to be a registered participant of our football program. So here are their names. We got a lot of them. We got some outstanding students that achieve at a really high level, and we want to recognize them. Jamar Yancey, Ryan Mullen, Alex Martinez, Jaden Lawrence, Champ Jones, Matthew Frakes, Brody Dodge, Lucas Bettendorf, fantastic achievement. Here are academic all-state first team, and this is the criteria, a 3.6 cumulative grade point average. Again, they have to be at least a junior academic standing, and they need to be a registered participant on our football team. Grace Taylor, Hannah Johnson, Gage Turnbull, Isaac Schmidt, Nate Sandy, John Niedringhouse, Carson Flowers, Ryan Bueller, Tanner Blaylock, Jack Morgan, Deacon Anderson, Brian Doyle, Nick Farley, Jack Volpe, Cole Franzen, Max Vaughn, Noah Archuleta, Aaron Olson, Brady Ryan, Hunter Sarbaugh, Peyton Auckland, Nora Sturm, again, that's a boatload of kids getting really good grades. Give them all a round of applause. All right, next we'd like to recognize the second most important people at any one of our practices, the the most important is our coaching staff. We can't get it done without them. But we definitely can't get it done without our managers too. So let's have our managers come up. Miss Sandy, join them please. And our season stretch is basically for 6 months. So for 3 of the months, we're dealing with extreme heat. We're pumping about 50 gallons of water out at practice every day, and more if we need it. And then the season ends up where we're shoveling snow at the end and trying to get through practice with that. But every single day, these young ladies are with us, and it's a major job organizing practice, doing everything that they need, including the filming. We have drones up for most of practice, taking video, and they just do a fantastic job for us, and we couldn't function at the level that we do without them, and they're fantastic young ladies who are just at the cream of the crop, and we're just thrilled to have them all. Madeline, you bet. Hannah, Haley. Is Layla here? Layla? Madison Taylor. And then our 2 seniors who we're I'm sorry, Miss Ellie Sandy. And now our 2 seniors who we're really going to miss a great deal. Been super important to us. Grace Taylor. And then the head film lady. Practice doesn't get watched the next morning in first period without her efforts. And I'm really sorry that she's leaving, but I'm thrilled for her. Nora is an outstanding young lady, and the best thing I can say about her, both her parents are from Montana. Nora Sturm. All right, next we want to recognize our junior varsity team that had an outstanding season, and leading that off for us will be Coach Aldridge and his staff. Devin.
Good evening. I would also like to start with some thank yous. I want to start by thanking the boosters for providing snacks after JV games, home and away. Thanks again to the film crew for streaming and filming games. Everybody that helped with the chain crew, the scoreboard during games as well, our training staff. I would like to thank my assistant coaches, Matt Wilson, Rick Garcia, David Johnson, Doug Johnston, and Jason White, and all others that helped when they could. Most importantly, the parents of our players for driving your sons to not only home games, but away games, as well with the absence of buses, your support at games, and just everything that you do and have done to raise the players that are here tonight. A lot of their success stems from you, so thank you. I also want to take some time and thank my wife, Brooke. Being married to a 2-sport coach is not easy by any means, especially with 3 little ones at home. She has supported me since day one, and I very much appreciate her for that. So I thank her for letting me do what I love. And just a round of applause for all of these people. Thank you. Now, as for JV football, okay, I would like to invite the entire JV football team to join me up here. Okay, everybody who played JV just kind of congregate on this side of the stage. Excuse me. We're going to be giving letters of participation to the majority of these young men. Some of these young men will come up again and receive a varsity letter. I will first start by saying that I'm incredibly proud of this JV team. It is not easy being on JV. We don't really practice for JV, nor do our practices revolve around JV. However, two things I tell them every year at the practice right before our first JV game is that first, we have fun. And second, we win. A lot of our JV players not only suit up for Saturdays, but also for Friday nights. Dressing for 23 football games in one season is tough, but they executed and did what was asked of them. I am proud of them for their efforts. This year was a year of firsts for our JV team. This season was the first season since I've started coaching here 6 years ago, where we actually played 10 games. This was the first season that we played new teams, such as Dakota Ridge and Montbello. And after 10 games, we ended with 8 wins and 2 losses. I also had to miss my first game ever in 6 years while I went down to walk at my master's graduation. But in my absence, my coaches were able to take over for me. And in my absence, they still beat Regis 44-0. We had an outstanding JV season, and I am proud of what we accomplished. After 10 games, we averaged 35.8 points a game while holding our opponents to only an average of 6.3 points in a game. By the end of the season, we outscored our opponents, and I know we heard this number earlier, but I'll say it again, 358-63. We shined in all phases of the game, offense, defense, and special teams. I had an incredible time coaching you guys this year. Now, as some of you transition into varsity football next year, remember that the pressure is on, and we have a lot of very big shoes to fill. And we are counting on you to fill them, to keep this team great. Thank you for an amazing season, and let's get better this offseason. Thank you, and go Titans. I'll take the leftovers. You can go sit down now.
All right, next we'd like to recognize some of our varsity letter winners. We'll start off with our quarterbacks and our offensive coordinator. It's been fundamental in any success that we've had here at Legend, J.D. Burkhart.
Can I get Brooks and Nick and Mike up here, please? It's my honor to hand out these letters, varsity letters, to these quarterbacks, and I just want to share a few words about them first. And I'm going to start with Brooks. We had a quarterback battle going this summer, and Brooks was not able to get any reps, pretty much, right? And so we've got a battle going on, and we're going through some 7-on-7 competitions. And we had a chance to go to Cherokee Trail. And they have some numbers similar to us. A lot of guys going, and their coaches said, "Hey, do you think we could go with a JV team and get going on the other end?" And our varsity's going here. I'm watching running the offense, and then our defense is up, and I'm kind of watching them. And all of a sudden, I hear our JV coaches just hooping and hollering about our JV offense over there. Now, Brooks, mind you, had not gotten one rep all summer since June. Okay, I mean, he had a little bit of individual here, but had no team reps, no 7-on-7, and goes out and probably threw 6-7 touchdowns that game, right? And anyway, it was amazing, something I've never seen in my life. A guy that hadn't had the opportunity yet to compete on a consistent level just show up, and it was an amazing thing for me to see that a guy that was sitting back there that wasn't in that competition take all the information that we ask our quarterbacks to do and come out and do what he did. And it was a great recognition for all of us on the staff to go, wow, this guy's something else. And you saw that as he led the team to 10 victories this year. And so it was a real privilege to have him part of this, one of the most understated, but just a joy to coach, Brooks Kusin. The next two guys, I'm going to talk about them together, instead of talking about each individually. We had a very good competition this summer, and had a lot of positives from all of them. In the end, we had to make a decision. I had to make a decision, and Michael Marcinich became our starter at the beginning of the year. Nick ended the previous year. After my son went down as the starter and did a heck of a job coming in as a young sophomore. I've always been very weary of things because my wife is in special education. She always talks to me about young men and how their brains don't form until they're 21 to 25 years old and their decision making is effective. I used to watch it on the basketball floor when Jaden and Nick were playing as freshmen. As talented as they were, you could see some decision-making processes weren't great yet. And I think that's some things that I went into this evaluating. And I watched Michael, and Michael took to the coaching unbelievably well. And he came in, and we go into those first couple days, and he's lights out and does a fantastic job. Season progressed, and some guys just keep getting more reps. We've alternated reps. Nick's played a little tight end. We got towards the end of the season, and we made a change and had Nick go. And Nick did a phenomenal job. Came in and did extremely well. We as coaches sometimes maybe outthink ourselves. And one of our goals, we sat down last spring, and one of the things we said we were going to do is we're going to take this team to the next level. And in our minds at that time, we had 3 straight years where we lost to Valor or Cherry Creek, who were the 2 teams in the state finals. And so as we went and chased this dream at the next level, in our minds, it was to beat Valor, to beat Cherry Creek, because that would put us where we wanted. We need to clarify that dream next time and say we want to be in the state finals, because it didn't work out that way. We did get to the next level. We beat Valor, which we've never done, and no Parker team has done in the history of the program. And these are 2 of the guys that allowed us to do that. But I really want to talk about these 2 guys. I'm not a stat guy. You win and you lose in football. It's the greatest team game there is. And while they may have good stats, and they did, the 2 of them were probably 2 of the best kids I've ever been around just to coach. They both supported each other. They cheered for each other. They took reps and would pass them around and just were extremely positive with each other. Even through the changes, we named Michael the starter, made an adjustment, and went with Nick later on. I think the biggest tribute that I could give to these guys were, and I hope he is, I would want my sons to be just like these 2. And I applaud you, both sets of parents, of what you've done with them, because that's not an easy situation. That is a position that is leading the football team in so many ways. We ask mentally more of these guys. We ask what every college asks of these guys, and it's a lot. It's overwhelming, and these two guys are further along than almost anybody. My son has been around me a lot. He's maybe the only one, but even the college guys that I was around did not handle and understand things the way these 2 were able to understand it. Didn't always process it right, and I know as they move forward that those things are only going to get better. But it was just, for me and from my standpoint, just an unbelievable feeling to have 2 guys like this handle the situation they did with the utmost professionalism and support for each other. So, love to talk about your football, but I think a heck of a lot more of you as young gentlemen. So, Michael Marcinich and Nick Farley.
I missed one of the people that I definitely wanted to thank, another person who's really popular along our sideline with all the Under Armour, the Jones family. Mr. Jones, thank you very much. A lot of schools refer to us as we're the school with the blue turf, or we're the school with the TVs on the sideline, or we're the program with the Under Armour all over the place. And Under Armour, my fault, Body Armor, excuse me. Jones family, thank you. Now let's recognize some of our seniors. We're going to start the evening off with Alex Martinez. Amar is just a great kid who's been a part of our program for 4 years, and he's a 2-sport athlete. He's going to Colorado Mesa to play lacrosse, and he's a fantastic lacrosse player, just as he was as a football player. Had a major presence on our football team for 2 years, specifically running that inside zone for us. He's really well thought of, both on our campus and within our program. Elected captain as a senior. He's an outstanding student, and he's one of the role models we want the younger players in our program to pattern themselves after, and if they do, they'll find success for sure. Alex Martinez. Next, Brady Ryan. So I think I spent quite a bit of the summer trying to figure out who was Brady Ryan and who was Ryan Mullen. Brady came to us as a senior. I'd never met him until we started summer workouts. He's a skinny young man, as you can see. And I thought, I wonder what he's going to do for us on the football team. And he was out here with a bunch of his friends, and he started taking up kicking. And I'm not certain he had kicked a football before June of this year. And he ended up being extremely, extremely effective kicker for us and had an outstanding senior year. Now, as I got to know more about Brady, I guess I shouldn't have been surprised. He's a 3.7 student, got a lot of opportunities after high school, and this is an outstanding accomplishment on his part, but there's going to be a lot more in his lifetime. We're really proud of him, Brady Ryan. All right, the other half of this mysterious group of seniors, Ryan Mullen. Ryan here. Well, we want to recognize Ryan. He was also a senior who came out for the very first time. And Ryan's a taller, lankier, strong, physical young man. And but be quite honest with you, didn't really know much about football. But he's a 3-4 student. He learned pretty quickly. And in a very short period of time, he became a real important member of our football team. Providing depth at defensive back, strong safety position, playing a ton of special teams, and we're really thankful for all the contributions of Ryan Mullen. All right, next, Danny DePietro with some receivers.
Can I please have Noah, Cole, Owen, Ryan, and Diego up to the stage, please? Give it up. So, while these men are headed up on stage, seniors, I want to take a quick minute to thank you. Being a part of your guys' journey from your freshman year, and in some instances, even before your freshman year on, has truly been a joy for me. Okay, this group, these seniors have an unbelievable chemistry, and you guys have made relationships that will last a lifetime, so give it up for our seniors. Now for these 5 men that are up on the stage. We had an unbelievable room of individuals this year. A lot of that was dictated by these men that were up on stage, but a lot of it was also dictated by our seniors, Jeff, Brian, Park, right? And the JV guys. The guys that were showing up every single day, Sims, Bryce, all the way kind of through this program. Right? You guys dictated and set the stage for what we were doing. This group is talented. They're committed to their craft, but they get along well with one another. They want to see each other succeed. This group is selfless, right? And they prove that each and every day by the amount of routes and reps that they ran on scout team and that they ran for our team to help the betterment of the program. I've been telling them for quite some time, sophomore, sometimes junior year is hard, right? And you can't quantify how important those reps are, right? The reps that you take when nobody else is looking is truly remarkable. And will only better them as time goes on. What makes these men truly remarkable is who they are as individuals. I have the pleasure of having most, if not all of these men in some sort of activity or class outside of football. These are good people. They're good to be around. They're people I want to be around. Mom and Dad, you should be proud. Gentlemen, I am proud to be your coach, and I'm proud of all that you accomplished this year and will continue to accomplish at Legend. Give it up for these 5 men.
All right, next, recognize one of our seniors had a big senior year. Garen Edwards, come on up, please. So Garen is a young man that just kept on growing. And if you saw him as a freshman and you'd have thought he'd be this size when he was a senior, I probably would have taken you up on a good bet on that. But Garen is very young. He's going to turn 18 about the time he graduates. He's going to keep growing. The next time I see him after this summer or something, he's going to be even significantly bigger. But he kept getting better athletically as well. He took to the weight room going into his senior year and really worked hard. He can run and he can jump. He's got ball skills. He had a memorable senior year, very solid in our secondary. Lots of us can remember the athletic interceptions that he made. And really to have the season that we had, you have to have seniors kind of emerge from the background and take on leading roles. And Garen certainly did that, had a great senior year, Garen Edwards. Ryan Bueller. So Ryan, like a lot of his classmates, dealt with injuries throughout his time here with Legend Football, specifically foot and ankle injuries that really kind of hampered him for 2 years. And I really wasn't certain throughout the summer if Ryan was going to be able to complete the season. We were hoping that the rehab went well, and I think, knock on wood, this year was maybe the most injury-free year that he's had in a few, which was significant for all of us, certainly for him. He developed a role on our team as a practice player, and he definitely added to our program. He's been involved with this for 4 years, and we're really happy to have Ryan a part of our football program. Ryan Bueller. I don't think Jack Volpe? Jack here? No. I want to recognize Jack. Jack's been a player for us in 4 years in our football program. I can still remember the night at Chaparral when his shoulder popped out in a basketball game and he had to miss his junior year with surgery. Jack's a really good kid. He's a fine student, very respected person on our football team. We want to recognize his efforts. Next, Justin Marshall. Justin's a multi-sport athlete who can run and jump, and we look forward to him in the track season, certainly. Been a 4-year member of our football program. He was really valuable this year on special teams, probably played about all of them. And he's another young man that just keeps getting bigger. Like a year from now, I'm going to be looking up at him even more than I am right now. Really appreciate all his efforts in our football program. Justin Marshall. Okay, next I think we're going to have Coach Johnston.
If I could have Hunter and Sean come on up here, please. As these guys are coming up, I just wanted to thank Coach Thielen for allowing me the opportunity to coach in this program. I feel truly blessed to say that I'm a part of this staff and this family and this community. And I think when you've been around, previous programs that have struggled with culture, and you get the opportunity to be around a group of people that want to enrich the lives of kids, man, I think you jump on that opportunity. Okay? I think tonight and our season as a whole is an important reminder to us. Life can be tough. And the lessons and adversity we learn in football, and both good and bad, are going to pave the way for the challenges these young men are going to face in life. Right, when they're dads, when they're husbands, when they're community members. And I'm so thankful to have just a small sliver of a chance to maybe have a positive impact. And I tell you, these two young men right here, have probably had a bigger impact on me than I ever could have on anybody. So let's give it up for these two guys. You know, we gathered not only to celebrate the end of a great season, but to pay tribute. These two young guys, you know, the one and only Hunter Sarbaugh, and the incredible Sean Gurton. I was trying to look for the right adjective. And you get hired into a new program, and the first thing you do, you ask the other coaches, well, how's the position group? And I'm going to be honest, with all the nice things that were said, I thought these guys were liars. All they said was, oh, you got great kids. Oh, they work hard. You know, you're waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I was so impressed. They were telling the truth. And, you know, Arch, I know Coach Thiel's going to talk about you in a second, man, but truly an honor just to get to work with you a little bit here. And the impact that you've had on this program and have impacted on these two are going to impact others, and you can't say enough about it. You know, and I go back to my first day of summer weights, I got no clue what's going on, right? I get hired a few weeks prior, you've kind of seen a playbook. That's why I would say thank the good Lord for Hunter Sarbaugh, right? That guy had every answer to every question that I had. He was ready to work. You know, as the summer progressed, Hunter continued to work his butt off and was always ready to go. You know, he was and is a leader that this program will count on as the next season comes upon us. I was put in charge of punt team this year, and you need some tough guys to block on the shield, and Hunter was the first guy that really came to my mind. I knew he was going to do exactly what he was coached to do and be a great leader out there. Also, at any point during a game or practice, if I needed to turn to sub a tight end, Hunter sometimes was already running by me on his way out. He was just ready to go. I think it's impossible to ignore the impact that Hunter's had on the field. You know, his teammates, his dedication, his passion. And Hunter, just thank you so much for a great season, man. Looking forward to another great year next year. I know I tend to ramble, I'm sorry. Sean Gurton is a player that always puts a smile on your face, right? Whether it's his great dance moves, it's his infectious energy, it's him sliding across that high jump pit in the JV game one time after a 2-point conversion, I think. John's another kid who is so impressive just as we started summer workouts and his want-to learning the playbook. And it's really hard for a sophomore to come in with the level of offense we have and try to keep up, right? The high level of verbiage. And it's a lot of effort. A lot of guys, you know, as the summer goes on, tend to slow down a little bit, and that wasn't the case with Sean. Right? He was always asking questions. He was on huddle. He made me a better coach because I had to have answers to the questions he was asking me. You know, Arch breaks his hand week 1. All of a sudden, hey, buddy, you're up. You got to be ready to go. Right? Gets thrown in the mix against some tough teams. Did a great job handling adversity there. And honestly, what I can't wait for, I'm a little impatient, but day 1 of next summer workouts, right? I'll see Sean, and he'll be helping us, you know, be a rising junior and a leader with a big season ahead of him. So Sean, thank you so much for a great season, man. I'm so proud of your growth and your effort. Thank you again to everybody.
All right, we'd like to talk about some of our receivers, and we'll start off with one of our captains, Brian Doyle. As we said, Brian's one of our captains elected by our team. He's a 3.9 student. He's got great strength, he's really smart. He's a role model for our young people to follow. What I think of Brian when I think of this football season, I think of pretty much the entire summer as he was rehabbing from a knee injury. He was literally like a coach on the field for us. He knew everything, every route, everything our receivers did at various positions, and they counted on him, not just throughout the summer, but throughout the fall to help them. And as a leader, he just was a great role model because he never hesitated in helping people, and it didn't matter who it was. He was helping everybody, coaching everybody through the position, and he definitely showed that he was committed to a cause bigger than his own. That's something I'm really going to remember about for a long time about Brian Doyle. Congratulations. And he's got a Montana shirt on. All right, we'll move to a young man. I think he's got a lot of family in South Dakota, where both of my parents are from. Noah Archuleta. I thought it was hot before you hit those other lights. Noah's a 3.8 student, so he's going to have lots of opportunities as he leaves Legend High. He's a 2-year starter in our program. Played about half of his senior year with a broken hand and a cast on his hand, which negated some of his abilities. But he's such a hard worker, such a smart kid, such a conscientious young man. As Coach mentioned, everybody in our program, but certainly our tight ends, could try to pattern themselves after him. They'd be really well served. One of the things I remember about Noah is that he would spend a period off a year ago, the second semester, stretching with Coach Vogt in the weight room. And it helped him become a better athlete. He was setting all kinds of strength records last fall and last summer. He's a really central figure of our team. To our younger people, this is where Noah first made an impact on me. When he was a sophomore, we had a pretty salty team, a pretty salty defense. Noah was outstanding on our scout team. And it was at the conclusion of that season that I told our coaches, you mark my word, Noah Archuleta will help us win a lot of games. He's exactly the type of person that we want. Noah, thanks for proving me right. Next, Jeff Baca. We want to recognize Jeff. He's a versatile player who can catch, run, he played defense as a junior. He can return the ball. He can do a lot of things from multiple positions. And he had a prominent role in our football program for 2 years. We'd like to recognize Jeff. Next, Aiden Parker. Aiden just continues to keep growing. I think about every time I see him, I ask him if he's getting taller, because I'm continuing to look up at him. And hard work put in by Aiden made him really a person who had a prominent role in our football team this season. He contributed both at wide receiver and in special teams. And he was a guy that just kept working at it. It's a great example for a number of our younger players. You just keep going, keep persevering and working, and good things will come. And they're definitely going to come to Aiden. They came to Aiden this football season, and they'll come to him throughout life as he keeps putting that to practice. Aiden Parker. All right, next, Coach Johnston, and then Josh, running backs and O-line, please.
Well, I know these things can tend to get a little repetitive, a lot of thank yous, but I do think it's important just to be a part of something special like this. Just one more time, say thank you to our booster program and all you guys do for us. Thank you to all the parents for allowing us as coaches to get to come alongside of your kids and get to spend the amount of time with them that we do. And thank you, coaches, just some of my best friends in the world. Love getting to be a part of this. And obviously, more than anything, thank you to my wife and kids for letting me be a part of this. We joke, we give our wives a kiss in August and say we'll see you around Thanksgiving. And that's just the way it works every year, but we love getting to be able to do it. So thank you to all of our families and to all of you guys. I want to have Brody Dodge, Troy McCorder, Jaden Lawrence, and Riken Banks come on up for me. As they're making their way up here, I'm just going to say how proud I am of this group collectively. I think about my 5 years here, we've had some pretty dang good running backs. But what I'm most proud of, what's really fulfilling for me as a coach, isn't the yards, the touchdowns, recognition, all leagues, all states, things like that. It's just really a special group of young men. It's a special standard that's been set. They're high-class individuals, great sons, great brothers, great students, and just really a blessing to be a part of. So thank you, boys, for letting me be a small part of that. Dodge isn't here tonight. I'll be real quick with Dodge. Very pleasant surprise for us this year. I believe he's the first manager turned varsity contributor in the history of Legend High School. He came out first couple weeks of the year, wasn't even in the summer or at the start of the actual football season wanting to manage. JD took one look at him and said, I think we need to get you a set of pads instead. And it's a difficult thing to do. We've a lot of complex deals in our offense, and it's tough to play full speed when you're still trying to learn. But he came and he brought a physicality to practice that we really needed, and a goofiness to practice that I did not need. But it was just a ton of fun to be around. So thank you, Dodge, for your hard work. Jaden Lawrence, man, Jaden is a game changer. I think anyone who watched a Legend football game this year across the state of Colorado saw number 20 out there and took notice. I think they had to prepare for him. I think they realized that he was special, whether it was lining up in the backfield, whether it was at the slot receiver, at our X receiver for one play. Sorry, Danny, that was Riken's fault. But really just did it all for our program. He's the kind of young man that's really fun to coach because he wants to be coached. I think when you have someone with as much God-given talent as Jaden does, it's really easy for a 16, 17-year-old young man to think they know it all, to want to do their own thing. That's not the kind of guy that Jaden is. Jaden wants to be coached. Jaden wants to get better. He wants to do what you want him to do. And he's all about bringing in the younger guys alongside of him. I've never seen somebody so excited when younger guys got opportunities. Was asking me to get younger guys opportunities. And just a great team player. I know that you've got a very bright future, man. So I'm very proud of you. Troy is a sophomore running back for us. It is a very thankless job. Danny talked about being a sophomore in our program at the receiver position is tough. It's pretty dang hard as a running back as well. You're playing scout team every day, just trying to survive, going against our varsity defense. And Troy put on his big boy pants every single day. Didn't complain. Just grinded. Said about 3 words all season, and just a ton of fun to be around. And he got rewarded by scoring about 800 JV touchdowns this year. And as mentioned in the toast earlier, busted a couple of big ones in some varsity games as well. So I know you got a very bright future here at Troy. And just keep grinding, man. It's a pleasure to coach. Then Riken Banks, I just mentioned Jaden being a game changer. I think those words describe Riken very well as well. Battled some injuries through the summer, battled some injuries late in the year as well, but he just kept learning. Was actually starting wide receiver for us, starting running back for us, really a very important cog to our football team. Our team would not have been the same without Riken Banks, but away from the field, honestly, just a young man that you love to be around. He's always right here. Whether he's just scored a big touchdown, whether he just messed something up, total goof, he's right here. You know exactly what you're going to get. He's going to be asking questions. He's going to want to be getting better. He's going to be wanting to grow. And for him to display the type of maturity that he has at such a young age, I truly believe the sky is the limit for you, man. And I'm just glad I get to be a part of it. So thank you for all you guys do. You're Legend Titan running backs.
I get the varsity letter winner offensive linemen, Jack Dane, Isaac Schmitz, Max Vaughn, Max Steinhoff, Jesse Morton, Gage Turnbull. Come up to the stage, please. So it's never easy to be an offensive lineman. We talk about that amongst ourselves all the time. But this is a group of guys right here that truly does the dirty work. Rarely noticed, rarely celebrated, but they are all grinders. A year ago tonight, I was looking on stage at our varsity returning letter winners, and we were returning 4 starters. All these guys were here looking at that, knowing what kind of playing time they might be looking at. And despite that, this group of guys pushed every single one of our linemen every single day in the off season, in the weight room. These guys overcame injuries. These guys ran scout teams. These guys did all the things that make teams great, and they did it because they love the team. And that's the hallmark of a great offensive lineman. I'm super looking forward to these guys coming back and returning. We got 1 starter coming back, and that's Jack. He had a great season. I think he was a little overlooked when it came to all league things. Isaac Schmitz, I can't wait to see what you do, my friend. This guy's a leader. This guy embraces his role, everything I've ever asked of him. Coached up a lot of our sophomores, a lot of our JV, a lot of our younger guys. Had groups of guys behind the varsity offensive line explaining calls. Was just extremely prepared for a start due to injury. Came in, did a great job. Max Vaughn was having the summer of a lifetime, and then he broke his arm and missed 6 weeks. Came back, didn't miss a beat. Jesse, a year ago, what he's done for himself in the last year alone just has to make you excited. The guy has changed his entire body. He has dedicated himself to the weight room. He's dedicated himself to football and being part of this program. And he's going to do some phenomenal things. Gage Turnbull, a young guy who early on was struggling a little bit with the offense, was asking questions all the time, nonstop. Learned everything, and when push came to shove, due to some injuries, we had to move some people around. Gage was a starting tight end through our playoff run. It's a testament to him and his work ethic and what he's done to have put himself in that position. And then Max Steinhoff, another player who I was totally surprised by coming into the summer, and didn't know much about Max, and then all of a sudden we put on pads and Max showed up. And that's really exciting, and he was the only sophomore in the group to letter this year and suit in all games. So for all you guys, just keep working, keep trying to keep being leaders in the classroom, in the hallways, in the weight room, on the field and off the field. Okay, keep doing the things that you guys are doing, because there's some really big shoes to fill. And I think this is the crew that can do it. So I'm really excited for what you guys will do, and I appreciate everything that you guys have done for this program, for me. Continue to do that, and you guys will find some great things.
All right, like earlier in the evening, I want to recognize our freshman season, an undefeated season by our freshman team, and outstanding. I want to recognize their efforts. Thinking about next, round of applause for them. Thinking about next year, the schedule is out. And Legend will open the 2024 football season at Grand Junction against Fruita Monument in a 0-week game. Our second game of the year, which is really going to be week 1, has Legend at Grandview. Week 3 of the 2024 season is going to be Legend's home opener against defending state champs Columbine. Our fourth game will be Prairie View at Legend. Week 4 of the season will be Legend's bye. Our non-league schedule will end in week 5 with Castleview at Legend. Our schedule was put together last March over spring break. It was unbeknownst to me that the scheduling was going to start at that time. I was in Saratoga Springs, Wyoming with my family with very little cell service. And the kids got pretty upset at Dad when he kept spending a lot of time in the business center of the resort trying to make phone calls to put our schedule together. Because of the efforts of so many, the establishment of our program and where it's at, it's hard to schedule non-league games. So most of you notice Ponderosa will not be on our schedule. That's their choice. And as we start week 6, the league schedule will begin with Legend at Pine Creek. The next week we'll see Legend hosting Chaparral. Week 8, Legend will go to Fountain Fort Carson. Week 9, Legend will host Douglas County. And week 10, Legend will go to Regis. We're looking forward to that season. There's a lot of work that needs to be done prior to that. It begins with us in first period. If your son's really serious about football, he needs to be in first period class starting in January. Coach Vogt will be working with a number of our athletes 7th period who have 7th period off through agility and agilities during that time. Both of that is at no cost. Both of those opportunities are at no cost to any of our students. We really encourage our players to take advantage of it. Now let's go to some senior defensive linemen. First, let's have Tanner Blaylock come up, please. Tanner's a fine young man that I don't think is shaving yet. He looks like he's 16 years old. And he continues to grow all the time. He's getting bigger all the time. He's a very bright young man, 3.9 student. Every year, Tanner has improved. If I thought we'd be playing Tanner at defensive line his senior year, when I first met Tanner, I thought that'd be a long stretch, but because of his hard work, he made himself very respected by coaches and peers. He's a really reliable team member. We wish nothing but the best to Tanner Blaylock. Is Deacon here? There he is. Come here, Deke. Deke's another one of our senior defensive linemen. He also 3.9 GPA. He's a multi-sport athlete. You know, wrestling helps so much with our football players. We strongly encourage it. Really kind of been the secret behind Deacon's success, besides his really hard work. He was a valuable backup for us at both nose and at defensive end. Just a young man we could really count on, super trusted, and I think the world of him, Deacon Anderson. Is Wyatt here? I'd like to recognize Wyatt Bristow. And Wyatt was a member of our football program for 3 years, and we're really happy that he rejoined our team for his senior year, and want to wish Wyatt nothing but the best. Okay, next we'll have Coach Aldridge and then Coach Vogt Sr. come up, please.
Good evening again. This year, different from last year, so I was looking at last year's notes, and I said, from having such a young defense this year, we struggled at times, but for the majority of the season, we built on our experience and made it hard for offenses to operate. This year, we flipped. This year, we were extremely senior heavy, and we were able to build on that. And I was extremely grateful for the path that those seniors made for these underclassmen to come through, learn the culture, learn the defense, and just learn what we do up front. For our seniors, I know that Coach Steele is going to talk about these guys, but I do want to give them the thanks, okay? I want to say thank you to Tanner Blaylock, Deacon Anderson, Wyatt Bristow, Jamar Yancey, Billy McGuckin, and Anthony Sias. You guys have helped us get to where we are. While I'm sad to see you go, I'm excited for your future. Thank you for paving the way for the young defensive group that will follow in your footsteps. I told you guys this after the Columbine game, but as a unit, our entire defensive line unit, this is the best defensive line unit that I have ever coached in my short career here at Legend in 6 years. You will be greatly missed. I do want to bring up our 3 underclassmen defensive linemen, Coleman Otto, Tatum O'Donnell, and John Niedringhouse. The lone wolf. Really quick before I talk about John, I'll just recognize the other 2. Coleman Otto, when he first started playing with us last year, he was a guy that came out. He started learning the defense. It was kind of hard for him to understand it, but then when he started to get it, he started getting a little bit more playing time on JV to this year. Huge jump going from just barely sprinkling in on JV a little bit to then becoming a starter and finally a dresser on the varsity. And so he had, if I had to declare kind of like a most improved from last year to this year, I'd probably say Coleman Otto. Tatum O'Donnell. Tatum, we moved Tatum from linebacker to D-line this year, as well as John, and I'll talk about John in a second. But Tatum, we started to notice, Tatum has kind of been an average-sized kid as a sophomore. That's kind of what he was, and he was a pretty good linebacker, starting to learn the defense again. But for Tatum this year, I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden he started coming out of the weight room looking bigger than the day before. Tatum will work out for probably 2 hours a day. He'll do the hour and a half during first hour, and then he spends his lunch period in the weight room. The dude is dedicated. He loves becoming more physical, learning the game. And while Tatum was only a backup, he still recorded 20 tackles on the varsity alone, amongst significantly more on the JV level this year. Excited to have Tatum back next year. As for John, John was another guy that last year, he started at D-line. We moved him to linebacker, thought it might be a better fit. And I actually, again, looking at my notes from last year, I didn't even talk about John last year. Because I think he ended up being a linebacker, and that's kind of where we left him. Start the summer, John again comes out to linebacker, and we knew better. And we moved John back to D-end. It was a need that we felt like we needed at depth, and John knew it already. He had a big year, his junior year on our D-line. While recording 62 tackles with 3 sacks, we finally had some depth to be able to rotate our D-line and not skip a beat. I commend his attitude to be able to continue to work hard with our other D linemen and also being an example for the young D linemen. But John has stepped into the role of becoming a leader, especially up front, especially with the big shoes that we have to fill on our defense for next year, graduating so many that we're about to this year. I trust John. I trust that he'll be able to make decisions. I know that he is a good man. I coach him in wrestling. He's an athlete. Okay? I know and believe that you're going to have a big senior year. And I'm excited for it. Thank you, John.
Can I have the underclassmen linebackers up here? That'd be Aaron and Derek and Sam and Zach, please. While these guys come up, I need to mention our 2 senior linebackers started every game this year. Nate and Eli, what tremendous leaders they were. And they had a hard time probably getting used to me for the first few weeks or months of the season in the summertime, but once we got ourselves squared away, they just played they had a tremendous season. And I think between the 2 of them against Columbine, they had 38 tackles in one hell of a football game. And these young men right here have the same work ethic, the same toughness, and the same abilities that the older kids had, and I expect to pass the torch on to these guys. They all work hard. They never complained about playing a scout team, and they got ready every single week, especially Aaron and Derek got ready every week to play, and in case we needed them, and they were ready, and they did play, not as much as they wanted to for sure, but next year, guys, you're up. So with that being said, I want to just encourage them to keep working and thank them for all their hard work, and congratulations. I do want to mention one thing. When I came here this year, I looked around that field the first few weeks in June. I go, damn, Dave, we got some guys. You know what? These kids are really good kids. They play hard. They work hard. And the coaches coach hard. And it's a tribute to the whole bunch of these people that they are where they are and continue to go.
Hey, one thing I'd just like to add, really like to thank Stephanie Banks for all of this paperwork, all these certificates Stephanie does for us out of the athletic office. And thank you very much, Stephanie. But what's brand new to me, and brand new from CHASA this year, is that if you make it to the quarterfinals, which obviously we did, they give you an additional certificate for playing in the quarterfinals. And my 7 previous trips to the quarterfinals, we never got that from Chassa. So I didn't really plan on getting them this year. So I've just lined them up here alphabetically. And you're more than welcome to pick them up, or I'll pick up everything that someone doesn't. We'll get them to you. But it's a neat little thing that Chassa provides to our players. And thank you, Stephanie, for printing it all out for us. I appreciate everybody's patience here with us tonight. Let's talk about some of our senior defensive linemen. The first one, William McGuckin. Billy's been a member of our varsity football team since he was a freshman. I'll never forget the night at Regis as a freshman when he first injured his knee. And seems like it's been an uphill fight for him ever since. Billy's a really good kid, very talented athlete, but he's a nice and he's a really polite young man. And after I knew him for about a year, he started speaking to me. And everybody wants the very best for Billy because he's such a good kid. Billy's an explosive player. He can make all the plays that you want at the defensive end position. And I got tape from Pine Creek to prove it. Billy's dealt with some mishaps throughout his time here at Legend. And he's been surrounded by peers, adults who have been really supportive of him. We want nothing but the best moving forward for Billy McGuckin. Well, the next one, Jamar Yancey. Jamar's been a part of our varsity football program for 4 years. The first 2 years, he was kind of Luke Sandy's backup, playing a lot of varsity football at the nose tackle position. And then for 2 years, a starter at defensive end for us. He's done nothing but get bigger and stronger every single year, which is especially impressive when you consider that he's battled back from shoulder surgery as a junior. He's a physical, tough player. 2019 was the last time that we lined up on defense without Jamar Yancey in the rotation. So it's going to feel a little weird next year. We're going to do our very best to try to hold up his end of the bargain, and that is being a committed, really good football player here at Legend High. All right, how about the A train next? So here's a great story. The pandemic year, we're going over to play Chaparral in a freshman football game, and there's snow all over the place. And I have all of our coaches go to the freshman game, and we're beating the tar out of Chaparral as usual. And the game is over, and we're all kind of leaving. I got my Legend Stadium jacket on. And a gentleman comes up to me, who's Mr. Sayas Sr., says, "Hey, I want my son to be a part of this football program." I said, "Well, okay, sir, if you're interested in that, you can get a hold of me. Here's my email address." Went off the rest of the weekend, getting ready for a playoff game and things like that. And I go to check my emails on Monday, and Mr. Sayas has emailed me already. Wants Anthony to get over to Legend High, and we make it happen. And he comes over here the second half of his freshman year, and because of the transfer, he had to sit out his sophomore year. So he spent it all on the JV team and going against our varsity offense and scout team. And he's all over the place, making plays everywhere. That's where the name A-Train really began. And then as a junior and senior, he's been a mainstay of our football program. He's a multi-sport athlete who also plays rugby. And I think he's going to try out for the next Pamala Mala Head and Shoulders commercial. And I think he's unique. He's uniquely aligned for success there as well, Anthony Sayas. All right, we'll have Coach Wilson, please.
All right, good evening, everybody. Thank you guys for being here. If I could get Madi, Case, Christian, Quinn, Gavin, and Gavin up to the stage, please. And while they're coming up, just want to say thank you to the varsity defensive backs that I had the pleasure of coaching this year. Lucas, Garen, it's just been awesome coaching you guys. I wish you the best in life. Peyton, Brody, Raymond, Champ, Caleb, and Carson. Look forward to winning the state championship with you guys next year. That's awesome. So I had the pleasure of coaching these guys on the JV level, a little bit of them flexing varsity, especially at the end, and just such a pleasure to coach. They're a great group of guys, incredibly hardworking. First of all, I'll start with Monty. Monty, as a junior this year, was just a definite leader amongst the DBs. He just brings such a good charisma to practice every day, big smile on his face. He's fun to coach and just be around, and just a definite leader on the JV for us. We really appreciate your hard work and appreciate seeing what you do next year. Case was a fantastic corner for us this year. I was impressed with Case early on in the summer. Clearly just one of the fastest kids on the team, one of the strongest sophomores in the weight room, incredibly hardworking kid, just gets after it day in and day out, constantly asking questions, how can I improve, how can I get better? I have no doubt that he's gonna find a ton of success in this football program. Christian Bailey, a fantastic athlete, really hard worker, just a bit of a hammer on the JV level, really plays a physical brand of football. Easy to coach, you can get in his ear, you can chew him out a little bit, he just responds incredibly well to that feedback and is ready to get right back in there and work harder. Constantly see him cheering on the other kids in the game, even when he's out, and just a fantastic quality as a human. Quinn, excellent football player. Really, you can't, if you watch Quinn play football, it's really hard to coach because he rarely makes mistakes. Just a fantastic kid, day in and day out. Played through a game with the flu or some incredible sickness. Just a great perseverance to him. Just does all the right things. So, in the secondary, I was lucky enough to have two kids named Gavin, which made it easy because I just said Gavin's in or Gavin's out. Just two fantastic kids. Bernie, I thought you were just an excellent leader for the team. Great charisma for you as well. You're just fun to coach. Showing up every day, looking to hit the crap out of that one-man sled and just work hard and get after it. I'm excited to see you hit the weight room, put on a little bit of muscle mass, and you're gonna be lights out next year. Gavin Reinhardt, one of the saltiest football players I think on the JV level. Just brings a little bit of feistiness to the game. Obviously not the biggest kid on the biggest football player on the field, but you never know that. Just the way that he plays with his speed and his aggression, and a heck of a wrestler and a lacrosse player as well. So thank you guys. If you can give a round of applause for these guys.
All right, how about some old linemen now? Juju, come here. Be leery of that man in the black hat.
Juju's been a mainstay of our offensive line for 2 years. I can remember his sophomore year against Ponderosa back when they would still play us. I think it was Rudy who got hurt at halftime, and trainer kind of told us that Rudy was out. So almost immediately, Coach Brookhart says, okay, it looks like we're going to go with Juju in the second half. I can remember my response was, I'm pretty confident we'll get the job done with Juju. And we did. And he's been a major part of our program, especially at our O-line Olympics the last 3 summers. This past summer, Juju bench pressed 185 pounds more than anybody else at the competition. And his family, you bet. His family's been a part of our program now for years, and we're really lucky to have the Castros, and specifically Juju Castro. Next, Big Jack Morgan. Okay, so now I know it doesn't look like it, but I started coaching way back in Montana in 1984. So when you do the math, I've been introduced to a lot of players. Some of them slip by my senior citizen memory. But when you meet a unique fella like Jack Morgan, you're going to probably remember him. And he's hard to forget. I'll never forget the JV game. I believe it was Dakota Ridge when we had a little snow on the field. We were all there, a lot of us are there congregating, and here comes this figure over by the shed. And I see those white legs and sandals. And I go walking over there. You could see the football jersey, so you knew who it was. And everything was great to Jack because he was at the JV football game and he had a box of donuts underneath his arm. I asked him if he'd realized it had been snowing. And he looked down at his feet and he says, well, yeah, I guess so, I do now. I said, Jack, did you think about putting on any shoes? Well, that's the type of guy Jack is, where he's really a physical player. He was central to our ground attack this year. He's another hardworking guy that just made himself into a successful football player. He's a 3.9 student. He's going to be successful from here on out. I just remember in the future, I really hope that he remembers to put on shoes. Jack Morgan. All right, Cruz. Come here, Cruz. Cruz is a multi-sport athlete who will continue to do that at Minot State next year. He's battled shoulder injuries, as you can see. He's a big young man with really good feet. It's not oftentimes that you find an offensive lineman who doubles as a pitcher in baseball as well. He's the second one now that we've had here at Legend. That's a unique combination that describes his athleticism. He's been a central figure in our program, been a part of it for 4 years, a central figure for the last 2, and we're really wishing him the best as he moves on, and we'll try our very best to uphold the standards that he's created here. Cruz Garcia. All right, Logan White. Logan is a 3-year starter, started on our semifinal team. And then the next 2 years as well. He's another large young man that can move his feet. He's a physical player who's only going to get bigger as he gets older. And he's been key to success of our program. And we're really going to miss him. And it's hard to get guys who want to play hard. You can put a lot of effort into it, but if the young man just innately is not real competitive and doesn't want to compete on every play, it's really hard to get him to that point. Well, Logan wanted to compete from the jump, and he's been super successful within our program. He's going to continue to be successful next year at Kearney. Logan White. Coach Vogt.
All right, can I have Matty Frakes, Thomas Crow, Champ Jones, Brody Shuss, Carson Flowers, Raymond, Caleb, and Peyton, please. Starting off with Matty Frakes. Matty is one of the hardest working kids that we have in the program. He's always asking, Coach, what can I do to get better? And sure enough, you'll see him working on that after practice. He's a guy that stays after, works hard. He's had the worst luck of any of the football players here. Both years have been cut short due to knee injuries. And he just informed us that this last knee injury is going to cause him not to be able to play football next year. But he's a hard-working fellow, and we wish him the best of luck, and he'll be successful in whatever he does in life. Tom didn't come out to football the first 3 games of the season. And I saw Tom in the weight room, and I asked him, I said, Tom, you miss football? And he looked at me and he said, Coach, I really miss football. I said, well, get your butt out there. And the next week he came out, got pads, contributed for our JV, was a big-time hitter over there, a really physical kid. And by the end of the year, he worked into some special teams and played a big role as a backup safety for us in the varsity. So, Tom. Champ. Champ had 61 total tackles, 26 solos, 7 tackles for loss, 1 sack, and 1 interception. Champ is a 2-year letterman for the Legend defense. Champ plays a strong safety position, which is one of the most crucial positions on defense. We ask him to play defensive end at times. He's one of our main blitzers. He drops into coverage. He has to play man coverage. And he has to control the wide side of the football field. Champ plays the game with an aggression that is contagious to his fellow teammates. You can always count on Champ to make big hits and fire up the defense. Champ also was back to return punch this year and did a great job. He was a staple for the defense's success that we've had, and we're looking forward to 1 more year of his hard hits and leadership. Brody had 103 tackles, 55 solos, 5 tackles for loss, 2 interceptions, and 1 interception for a touchdown, and also 7 pass breakups. Brody is a 2-year starter and has grown up with me and his defense. Brody is an aggressive, hard-hitting style, which reminds me of some of the hardest hitting safeties in football, like John Lynch. Brody plays the weak safety position, but after watching him play, you'd agree there's nothing weak about his game. Brody strikes fear into all the running backs we played. Usually safeties will come up and they'll hit the running back's legs or get stiff-armed, but Brody was looking to take their head off. We have a Hammer Award for the hardest hit of the game, and it seemed like Brody was in the mix and the conversation every week for that award. Brody is a great team player and loved to play special teams. He made a ton of plays on punt and kickoff. We're excited to have Brody come back next year and play a huge role in our pursuit to be the best defense in the state again. Carson had 22 total tackles, 14 solos, 3 pass breakups, and should have had a Hammer Award against Valor. We'll talk about that in a second. Carson started off the year as just a kicker and played a little bit of wide receiver. The coaching staff noticed how athletic Carson was, and we asked him if he wanted to come over and play some corner. After getting a couple reps, by the middle of the season, Carson was switching in and out with our starting corners. He made some huge plays for us this year, and during the Valor game, he had one of the biggest hits of the year, and our sideline went crazy. This play, along with the 3 goal line stands, will always play a huge factor in winning that game at Valor. We are excited to see Carson grow this offseason and help us compete for a state championship next year. Raymond had 45 tackles, 24 solos, 6 tackles for losses, and 3 sacks. Raymond also played that hybrid strong safety position, the Swiss Army knife of the defense. Raymond fought his way onto the field with a returning starter and a senior in front of him. Raymond fought his way and kept making plays to earn his spot, and Raymond ended up rotating in with those strong safeties because he made so many plays. Raymond is extremely physical and started the last game against Columbine, where he and the defense held Columbine to the least amount of points they scored all year. We are excited to be reloading with Raymond at the strong safety position next year. Caleb Lilyhammer, 40 tackles, 18 solos, 1 interception, 8 pass breakups. Hammer has been a lockdown guy for the last 2 years. Whoever's the best receiver on the other team, we're sure to have Caleb follow that guy all around the field. When you have a type of player like this, it allows us to be very versatile on defense, which means we can blitz more. Hammer got his nickname last year when he came over to us from the offense and started laying guys out in the tackling circuit. It's very special to have a lockdown corner that's also physical and that will tackle people. Caleb also returned punts for us for a small period of time this year. One punt he had the opportunity to score a touchdown, but decided to run into the kicker instead. Caleb is also a two-way player and played receiver for the second half of the year as well as corner. Caleb is a dynamic player, and we can't wait to see him grow this offseason and become the top lockdown corner in the state. Peyton had 104 total tackles, 46 solos, 4 tackles for losses, 4 interceptions, 2 of which he returned for touchdowns. Peyton is also a 2-year starter and the quarterback of the defense. He gets us set up, identifies offensive formations. Peyton became a student of the game through his film study. He could call out the offensive plays before they happened. Peyton is one of the best tacklers on the team, coming in 3rd overall with total tackles. When he hits you, you feel all 135 pounds of him. A couple times I thought he might knock himself out hitting the opponent so hard, but that's the exact mindset that we want from him. He was able to do this because he lifted so hard in the offseason and made his body bulletproof in the weight room. Peyton made the 800-pound club, which is hard to do at only weighing 125 pounds. 900 pounds now. Peyton was one of the most dangerous punt returners in the state. Peyton returned 3 punts for touchdowns, and every time he was back there, we knew we had a chance to score a touchdown. Peyton was also a 2-way player and played receiver for us this year on offense too. Peyton will be a top free safety and punt returner next year, and we're excited to have him back lead us to the state title. I also want to recognize the seniors really quick. I just want to say thank you guys for believing in the process to become the best defense in the state. We talk about that from the start of the year, and with your leadership and belief in what we're doing, you made it come true. Beating Fowler with 3 goal line stops is what I will always remember, because like I always tell you guys, good teams make goal line stands. Next year players have a lot to live. The next year players have a lot to live up to your legacy that you carried on. Thank you for an amazing season, and remember to work hard and always believe you can be the best in whatever you choose to do in life.
Eli Frakes, come on up, Eli. Eli's a fine student. He's also obviously a gifted athlete. But what I'm going to remember most about Eli is just the extreme adversity that he and his family had to deal with. And it's quite a bit for a young man at such a young age. Got knee injuries in both his sophomore and his junior year. But he's a physical football player, strong. Could take on guards really effectively for us this year, and was good at both, very adept at both blitzing and dropping back in coverage. He's a pleasure to work with. And I've gone through ACL rehab and recovery with my own son, and what I can tell all the young men who battled so hard from it, including Eli, is that a year from right now, they're going to even be better athletes than they are right now. And so I really believe that Eli's best football is ahead of him. It's a pleasure for me to work with. And he's really a fine young man. He's going to go on to great things. Eli Frakes. Lucas Bettendorf. Lucas is also a very fine student, 3.5 GPA. He's definitely set up for whatever opportunities he wants to pursue after high school. Lucas is an impact player. He can jump, he can run, he can hit. He's got very good hands, and he's as fiery as a stove left on 400 degrees overnight. His intensity and his competitiveness were definitely pluses on our football team. And he's another young man that had to come back from ACL surgery, and I was just hoping that we could get him into the meat of the schedule and hopefully into the playoff run. And I kept having to preach to him about patience. You know, we were going to rotate him a little bit. We wanted to just keep him healthy, keep him getting better and better athletically for that stretch run. And boy, was he there in the playoffs. And broke my heart at the Valor game when I thought maybe he had had another serious knee injury. Just made me want to swallow hard. I was so thankful that when about 2 weeks later, when he told me that there was no real serious damage, that he'd had a bone bruise, I was just so thankful, because he really put a lot of work into his senior year, and he made the very most of it, and we enjoyed the fruits of that here at Legend Football. Lucas Bettendorf. All right, Nate Sandy. Nate Sandy, our team captain, 4.0 GPA. He's a 4-year letterman. He's a 2-year starter, 2-way player. He's a multi-sport athlete. And he's a great role model for all of our people involved in Legend football. If someone really wanted to reach their full potential in anything that they were involved with in high school, I would say follow the role model of Nate. He shows people how to do it. He does so in a real positive, encouraging manner. And we're really thankful for him being a part of our football program. I think Nate Sandy has been working out with us in the summer for what seems like 10 years. He was so competitive when he was really young and coming. And his face would turn so red I'd get scared thinking he was going to pass out. And I'd try to pull him out, and he tried to get mad at me. And I said, listen, 6th grader, you do what I say. And he did. And again, our young people that are here in the stands that want to achieve really good things in life, here's a role model for you to follow, Nate Sandy. Mr. Shush, I think the Booster Club is up now. We have all these certificates here as well. I tried to put them out alphabetically. When we're done here, if you'd like to take yours home, fine. If not, we'll try to get it to you as well. Thank you, Mr. Shush.
I won't take much of your time. Players, please thank your parents for all that they do, all the time, energy, money, and heartache and tears spent to put you through this and make this a good night for you and a good season in all of your football careers. So please thank your parents. Just a couple quick announcements. There's the photos that were on the tables. Those are for everybody. There's team photos for everybody, so please pick them up down at the table where you were checking your name off the register. Please take those. All the seniors, there's an individual picture for you there as well. Please grab those. If you don't get them, we'll get them distributed. And then the senior banners are also for you to take. They'll be down there for you as well. Want to recognize the coaches, and we'll give them something that we appreciate, but we want to just keep moving this along. I do want to thank everybody on the Booster Club for all their support and all their help. It takes a ton of people, and like this great senior class of athletes that's moving on, we're losing some great people that are helping us on the Booster Club, and we'll be looking for more people to step into their shoes and help out. If you have any questions, please reach out to us. But most of all, I'd like to thank you all for your support, for volunteering and your time and energy, and thank you, coaches.
So we're right at the end of the evening, and I'd like some of our coaches to come up and hand out some of our team awards, please.
Okay, so I have the honor of recognizing 3 individuals tonight, all of which reached all-league status, all-league recognition. So I'd like to first talk about this one, this individual. Jamar Yancey. Jamar was able to achieve second team defensive line all-league status, and he was also your Legend Titans Varsity Football Outstanding Defensive Lineman of the Year. This next guy, Billy, come on up. I'm super proud of Billy and also echoing exactly what Coach Thielen said. But this year, Billy was honorable mention all league this year, so give Billy a round of applause. This guy here, I mean, it's pretty obvious. Anthony, come on up. I think this might be the first time that, as a defensive line coach, that all 3 of our starting defensive linemen reached all-conference or all-league status. This year, Anthony was on our first team all-league recognition. And also reached honorable mention all-state recognition.
I was hoping that Coach Preston would get here. He's trying to fly in from Virginia to make it to the banquet because he really wanted to come here and present an all-league honorable mention kicker to Brady Ryan.
Okay, Lucas, come on up, please. Okay, Lucas is an all-league player for us. And again, like Coach said, kind of the heart and soul of Lucas. If you could pick one person to get into a fight that you wanted on your side, it's going to be Lucas. Just a super physical player. I think the first year he was here, every 7-on-7 that we had, the ball was just like a magnet to his hands. It just came to him. But again, he made so many plays this year, and for him to be that physical presence on defense when we needed, it was a game changer. And yeah, really a big part of the success that we had this year. And Lucas. Okay, Brody Suss. Brody is an first team defense all league. And again, Brody is just the quarterback out there as well as Peyton. He was the one that got us lined up, made sure that everybody was in the correct spots. And we gave Brody an opportunity to blitz, and sometimes, maybe once or twice he took it. But in practice, he would come down and always make plays, and we're just super excited for him to be back with us. And also voted the most valuable secondary player on the defense by his teammates.
Eli, come on up. Eli Frakes. This is a in-team award. When I first saw Eli last June, I see this young man walking around. He's got a huge knee brace on. Coach Thielen says, well, I don't know. He's been hurt a lot. I don't know if he's going to get to play. Well, he sure played in every single game, played at a high level. I thought he showed a great amount of improvement. And for that, he has been voted by his teammates most inspirational player 2020. What's this? Oh, I left him down there. Nate, come on up. Special young man. When I came here, I said, I kept watching film with Coach Vogel, and I said, who's number 5? Is he coming back next year? And he goes, yeah. And I go, I think we can work with that. And sure enough, Nate shows up day one. I first meet him, and he's so enthusiastic and so physical, works hard. And you know, we spent a lot of time on the mental aspect of football, studying film, reading keys, anticipating things before they could happen. And he really did a good job at that, as well as being extremely physical and just playing his heart out every single week and every single day in practice. And I think, again, that's a really good example for our young guys. I want to recognize Nate for, first of all, being first team All-Continental League linebacker. And really a coveted award, first team All-State Colorado linebacker. Also, team award, he was voted by his team as our most valuable player in 2023. And I can't give any more out, it's Christmas time.
Peyton Auckland. Peyton's been awarded first team All-League and honorable mention All-State as a return specialist. We've talked about his punt returns and something that he works on daily in practice, and along with his teammates has been highly effective throughout the year. Peyton Auckland.
All right, if I could get Jaden Lawrence up here, please. Jaden, I told you, man, I think the whole state recognized number 20, and I got a fast stack of awards to give you that prove I wasn't lying. First team All-League running back. We've got a 5A Offensive Playmaker of the Year finalist, a All-State football player up here, was also voted most outstanding offensive back and our offensive MVP this season. Congratulations, Jaden. If I can get Alex Martinez up here as well, please. Alex, two-time All-League running back, was also voted most inspirational player for this football team. Alex, man, I'm appreciative to Coach Thielen for letting me just say a quick word about you. You're a special young man who holds a very special place in my heart. Coaching, it has a lot of ups, a lot of downs, very long days, and guys like Alex Martinez make coming to football worth it, make coming to football special and fun, and thank you for letting me be a part of your life, and I know you're going to do huge things, man. So proud of you. Love you, guys.
So I'm really excited to give this next award, and I want to thank Coach Dave for allowing me to do it. In the last couple of years, I was coaching tight ends before I started doing the offensive line full time. So Noah Archuleta, could you please come up? Super excited to give this award to Noah tonight. You know, stats don't always tell the story of a player, and I think some lack of statistics for Noah. People don't understand just how valuable this guy is to our football team. This is a guy that arguably might have been the most valuable player we had. He was someone that we could move around in our offense. He could play a little fullback. He could play some tight end. He could play some wide receiver. He was extremely versatile. And it's guys like Noah that really make our offense go and make things, some special things happen. And it's not always for himself. It's for the others around him as well. His value cannot be understated. I'm just super happy for you. All-league honorable mention. Big Jack Morgan. Wasn't sure what to expect coming into this season with Jack. Had heard rumors that he was doing well in the weight room, but I can tell you this guy provided so much to our room as a group of offensive linemen. He immediately increased our physicality and our nastiness, which is something I think we needed. And despite having very few words to say, he always brought humor to the film room, and had maybe one of the biggest hits we had all year against Pomona. So, second team all league, Jack Morgan. Next up, Juju Castro. Another special one for me. Juju is a pretty special guy to me. Having worked with Juju over the last 3 years, what we ask Juju to do, a lot of colleges don't ask of their centers. We ask him to ID fronts, to make block calls that set everyone else up for the play. He's got to recognize blitzes, he's got to recognize cover downs, he's got to recognize edge issues. He is the brains of what we do up front. And I have not had a player yet who has done this as well as Juju has. Despite all that, Juju is an unbelievable young man, shows up every day with a smile. He is someone that has had to overcome some things that young kids should never have to. And I'm so proud of what he's done and the accomplishments that he has made. And I know your pop is very proud of you. And last but not least, Logan White. So Logan was the unquestioned leader of a senior heavy group. He's a team captain. He brought a level of confidence to our entire room. I really appreciate the consistency that Logan brings to coming to work every day and grinding. You know, I've heard the term used that high tide raises all boats, and up front for us, Logan is our high tide. He makes everyone around him better. He's been our unquestioned leader, and just to see where he has grown from his freshman year to now. Extremely excited to see what he does at the next level, playing at Kearney. He's earned it. He's worked his tail off to get there. He has a very, very bright future. So, first team All-League offensive line, Logan White. First team All-State offensive line, Logan White. And offensive line MVP, Logan White.
That's going to conclude our program. We wish everybody all the best. Thank you very much for coming tonight. All of our Chantels, our letters, are all right down here. If you'd like to pick them up now, if you don't get them tonight, you go by Coach D's room. You'll get them hopefully as soon as tomorrow. Really like to say thanks to everybody. It's been a challenging fall for Tony and I. My family's dealt with a lot of difficulties, and our football program has been a shining light for me, so I want to say thank you.